Down the backstretch, Scotty slings it into turn number 4 now, and Allen enjoying the biggest advantage he's had over Ed in a while. Just a little over a second difference between the cars running 1 and 2 on the scoring pylon. Burl Woods back in third, but he's got a battle brewing on his hands as Rob White Jr., who came in second place last slides off the 5 and stays out in front here in that third place battle with David Hendricks behind them.
Corey, we've been talking about the action and side by side, but in all reality, these top 6 cars have not really changed position at all. Burl Woods lost his spot to Ed Griggs, but quite honestly, that's been about it, and that tells me that these cars are just about as even as it gets. No one's going to have a real distinct advantage over the other. It's all about just trying to find that certain line and getting an inch here, an inch there, and right now Scotty Allen's done it better than anybody.
Allen, a 4-time winner in the 2021 racing season. 3 of those wins have come here at the Diamond of Dirt tracks. He has got 2 more laps separating him and a tie-breaking 4th. Ed Griggs all alone behind him, almost 2.5 seconds. The distance between first and second as we are to the white flag lap. Wheatland Outlaw waves the white flag high in the air, and Scotty Allen just a half a lap to go now, and we have joked time and time again about how good this Thunder Stang is, and it doesn't matter what setup he puts in it, it seeks victory lane and finds it again here underneath the Saturday night lights at Lucas Oil Speedway.
Well, there's one heck of a lot of good stock cars coming every week now, and we're getting a bunch at Urbana, we're getting a bunch here. It's an awesome class. I'm a lifelong modified guy, everybody knows me, but I don't know if this is a retirement home for me or what, but I really like it. But these guys are tough. Burl and David Hendricks and Ed Griggs and the Whites, and man, they're good, and it's a lot of fun. And we took a few weeks off to get our racing done, getting ready to go up to Deer Creek and run the Stock Car Nationals here in Spring Valley, Minnesota in a few weeks, and back to Mason City and get ready for the Nationals. And you folks, I'm going to tell you, I've raced a lot up north, and you're fixing to see some of the best racing you've ever seen here in October. And the stock cars, not because I'm in one, you will not find a better car race than what's coming here. So God bless you all. Thank you, fans. You're what makes it good. I want to thank all my sponsors, my family, and we'll see you in October.
It's all about who can win on the final night of the Big Adventure RV Weekly Racing Series. 2 drivers on the front row that are looking for that first win. We're underway as Potter and Gottschall lead them into 1. John Potter out of Tulsa, Oklahoma has won 13 times this year. Salina has been his moneymaker with 6 wins on the season, and now a big wreck. 4 cars all get involved. J.C. Newell, Jamie Mock in that. 6 of John Potter out of Tulsa, Oklahoma led the first lap. We'll start lap number 2, and Andy Bryant's on the charge. Running the high side, the Fort Scott Flyer likes it up there. He's got the grip, and he will get the run off of turn 2 and grab the lead.
The High Rent District is where Andy Bryant likes to be, and Contact Nations and Gottschall get together. That puts J.C. Morton up to the wall.
In front of them as he slows the fill down over in 3 and 4. Presses down on the go pedal, and here we go again. This time Bryant not as good of a jump. He's not able to hang with the number 6, but now Gilmore looks to the inside. He's trying to take the position away from Andy Bryant. Bryant will have none of it. Back on the loud pedal as he cruises up to the top shelf. J.C. Morton going to follow in the tire tracks as well. He sees the 28 get a good run, and Morton likes what he sees. Now he'll shoot back down to the inside. Morton was in the top 5, and now a car sneaks underneath him as Sean Whitman in the 54 battles back. Here comes Bryant. Andy Bryant with a crossover. Had the spot, and he'll hang on to it as they cross under the line by a half a car length over Potter.
Potter now washing up the racetrack, nearly comes in contact with the backside of the 28 of Bryant. Bryant now out 4, almost 5 car lengths, and the 25 is moving its way up. Galen Hassler, the golden boy, into third around Gilmore and looking for more as he is taking the shortest distance around this diamond of dirt tracks. He continues to stay at the bottom. Thomas Creech kicks up some dust as he hits the infield momentarily and then straightens back out in the 28C. All the while, Andy Bryant out in front of John Potter by 1.5 seconds.
And Corey, say what you want. When Galen Hassler comes in with only 1 win on the season, he has only run a handful of events. My race pass has him as only 6 races on the year. For him to come in and run top 5 with this group says something about how the 25 is hooked up.
Well, they don't get a nickname like Golden Boy for nothing, and he's in front of Sean Whitman and J.C. Morton. He was side by side with Ryan Gilmore a moment ago, and now he becomes the meat of a sandwich there with the Hickamo Country Store 54 and J.C. Morton's 18.
It's going to be a race for second, at least the way it stands now, 7 laps in. Nobody's got anything for Andy Bryant. Second, third, and fourth runs Potter, Gilmore, and Morton. Sean Whitman is tucked back in there in 5th as the lead just continues to grow. 2.8 seconds now, the advantage that Andy Bryant has over the rest of the field, and it's just going to continue to grow. It's another half a second back to Gilmore, and then another half a second to Morton.
See how these second, third, fourth place cars navigate lapped traffic now as Potter gets through unscathed, but Hassler has troubles with the 28C, has to jump to the inside and gives up some ground there to J.C. Morton and Sean Whitman.
Lap traffic absolutely played into that for Galen Hassler, as Hassler now is back to 6th. He's out of the top 5.
Out of the race now, Shane, the 08 Chad Neal taking his race car back behind the wall.
Full straightaway advantage for Andy Bryant. Cross flags flying from Mike Striegel up on top of the flag stand. Then the second place car of Potter. As he is exiting turn number 2, Andy Bryant is already running the high side in turn 3.
Well, he's in his happy place, partner. He's up by the cushion, out in front, and just rolling right now. Bryant's lead, a gargantuan now 4.4 seconds, as he's got about a half a lap advantage on Potter and the rest of the field. And now the 42 of Jackson darts to the infield, pulling the 42J down and in momentarily. We'll see if he stays there, but he's coming dangerously close back to the racing surface. Smoke coming out of underneath the hood of the 42J.
And that started with Donnie Jackson all the way on the backstretch. He was extremely slow. Might even see a little bit of moisture that he laid down in turn 3. It looks like it's dark on the inside. That's out of the racing groove, so it's not a big deal. As that 2.8 second lead, now a 5 second lead. Andy Bryant starting to Johnny Finowald the field.
He's going to try and pass another 28 as Wes Briggs is in front of him now. About to go a lap down, but he's got cars all around him now, and the caution.
Oh, we're down to the 70s now. Andy Bryant, here we go. He's back at it. As Potter will go straight to the track, Gilmore will dip down underneath him. Gilmore had nothing for Potter before that caution came out. Slide job doesn't go quite the way that Gillimonster wanted it to. Will he return the favor off of 4? As Potter drifts up high, Gilmore takes the spot back.
Gilmore not giving an inch right now, pulling back past the 6 of Potter. J.C. Morton sliding backwards, opening the door for the 54 as Whitman comes wheeling around to take control of 4th. Potter now up over the cushion a little bit, letting the rear end of the 6 hang out, see if it can eat. And he's still in 3rd with Ryan Gilmore in 2nd, Andy Bryant in 1st, and another boom.
as Andy Bryant leads them through turns 3 and 4. This time Ryan Gilmore's the only car in his rearview mirror. Bryant goes top shelf. Gilmore smoothly through turns 1 and 2. J.C. Morton doing a good job as he started well deep in the field back in 13th, and he's already up into a top 5 running spot. And Potter, who had started on the pole, he is now in reverse as he is now just barely hanging on to the top 5. Top 2 cars have broken away with Andy Bryant out by 2 car lengths over Ryan Gilmore.
Give Gilmore credit for trying to hang with the Ford Scott Flyer here. He has now chased him up the racetrack about 4 or 5 car lengths behind him. He went the high side through 3 and 4, goes to the bottom in 1 and 2, and pulls up just a little bit closer on the back end of the 28, but running out of laps and turns.
One more time around as they see the white flag, this time by from Mike Striegel. Andy Bryant and Ryan Gilmore both have won features here. Ryan Gilmore has come second so many times before, and it looks as though it's going to happen again as Andy Bryant through turns 3 and 4 rides the high side and rides the 28 into victory lane. He will park it in winner's circle for the second time here on the season.
Yeah, those restarts, I was getting pretty tired of them. I mean, I'd get that long green flag run we had. I knew I had pretty good distance just because of the lap cars, and I got through them pretty cleanly, so I knew I'd have a little bit of room there. But yeah, those restarts were not well liked by me in the cockpit. But no, got the car home in one piece. The track's pretty good tonight. I mean, for the most part, from what I could see, it was pretty 2-lane through the midfield. But
Kyle Thompson, Dylan McCowan, Kevin Blackburn, the only drivers on the track that have won here this season. Can we have a first-time winner tonight? Jason Persley will try to do that off the top side of turn 2 as he just pole vaults out in front of Jeff Cutshaw back in second. Thompson in tow. He's going to go the middle of the track as Persley going a little bit higher than anyone else, and he will lead by a good solid 3 car lengths after the first circuit.
Those 3 up front, Dylan McCowan, your point leader and soon-to-be point champion. By the time this is all said and done, currently riding in 4th, and then Chase Jones up around the lip of the track, snaps it back, and gets a good run off of turn number 4 that allows him to pull up alongside Blackburn in a battle for 6th.
Side-by-side battle for second now as 2 cars involved, including the 55. That was the car as they press down on the loud pedal, and we're back at it. Three cars in turn 1 will bring out the Boone's Barbecue. And he will on this one as well. He's got Jeff Cutshaw working the low side, and that is a line that for year after year after year, the 98 perfected, running the bottom side. And now Chase Jones, he goes all the way to the tailback. Something goes awry on the 0-3, got contact with another couple of cars sandwiched in between, and now he is extremely slow. He will stay on the track, and that will bring out the caution.
Perfectly timed.
And a friendly nudge to the 21 just to say, hey, I'm here.
Look, I made it out of the hot pit.
On the restart, Persley out by 5 car lengths, then side-by-side for second, side-by-side for fourth, as Thompson carries the momentum on the top side and grabs second away, and the aforementioned Peyton Phillips, who's gotten some help from Chris and Tony Jackson, he's got himself a top 5 run brewing as he's back in 5th. Running the low side right behind Jeff Cutshaw.
He was about to pick up a couple of spots, Shane, and Jeff Cutshaw unceremoniously came down and slammed the bottom of the track shut on payday. That 98's forward momentum goes away, but who is continuing to move forward is your points leader, Dylan McCowan. Side by side with the 98, Thompson up around the wall. And McCowan able to pull within a couple of car lengths now of the 292.
And something breaks on Peyton Phillips' car. The 98 takes a left-hand turn, and he'll park it about where the tractor pulls ends. There on the front stretch on the infield. As Pursley's lead was 1.4 seconds, it's cut into a little bit by Kyle Thompson, down to just over 1 second. And for the second straight lap, Josh Dugan takes a shortcut through the infield. Goes to the inside of not only the orange cone, but the white cone in front of it.
Throws up a heck of a little dust storm down there as well as turn 4. Your view just a little bit obstructed now, but the view is good for Jason Pursley as he continues to stay out in front. A 1.4 second advantage over the driver from Joplin, Missouri.
You know, I used to umpire baseball, and we were always trained, watch the runner rounding third, because hardly ever does anybody watch that, and base runners like to cut inside the third base bag and try to take a shortcut. I think Josh Dugan would try his hand at that 2 straight laps as he cut the corner over in turn 4.
Everybody trying to find the shortest way around this track as they are 10 laps in with 10 laps to go. And Shane McCowan was moving up, able to get around the 16 and the 51. But his forward progress has been halted as he hasn't been able to get past Thompson now.
And Thompson, for the most part, has not been able to cut into the lead that Jason Pursley has had. It has been a consistent 1.1, 1.3 second advantage. This time under the flag stand, it's cut in just inside a second as Thompson will pick up a couple of tenths, cut even more of it off over into turns 1 and 2, but he was not able to stay in the loud pedal, had to lift off, and Pursley built that lead back up. In the modified division, as he has that by 380 points over Dylan Glass.
Wow, a horrible restart for Kyle Thompson. Lets the floodgates go. McCowan and the 51 getting around him on the restart. Lucas Gibbs, and now Blackburn taking advantage too, Shane, as Thompson trips up and loses 3 spots on the restart.
Tough break for the 292, but a big break for Dylan McCowan, as that's just one more car he doesn't have to worry about if he wants to grab the position away and take over the lead. Now he's got 7 laps to catch up with the 38 of Pursley.
We have not had a race so far where the champion was also the feature winner here tonight. Dylan McCowan trying to make his bid to be that man here tonight, but to do it, he'll have to get around his elementary school principal.
Pursley by 2 car lengths. He has not moved off the top side at all. He has stayed up around the rim, finding plenty of bite up on the lip. But now Dylan McCowan's starting to charge a little bit harder every single lap, down to 5 to go. McCowan drives it in deep. Apex is off the corner, gives Pursley plenty of room, but still has the nose out in front. New leader, Dylan McCowan.
McCowan patient and clean getting around the principal. Pursley not willing to let off just yet, continues to run around the top of the racetrack, but does not get off of turn 4 well that time. And McCowan quickly out to an almost second advantage and continues to extend on that lead as they race down the backstretch now. The top 6 all strung out, single file, with Thompson now falling back to 5th right in front of Jeff Cutshaw.
Okay, so this goes back to our clean air conversation we had earlier. When Dylan McCowan was running in 3rd behind both Pursley and Thompson, he was making up some ground, but not in big chunks. It was just little by little. The bad restart by Thompson gives Dylan McCowan the advantage. With 1 to go, he was your USRA national point leader a week ago. He sits atop the point standings, and yet again, the youngster from just down the road, D-Mac, will win at Lucas Oil Speedway the race and the championship.
Yeah, you know, it was an awesome race. We kept getting stuck on the bottom there on them restarts, and I didn't know if it was going to work out. Then they went single file, and I'm like, man, I don't know if I can get it done if we go single file. And I don't know what happened to Kyle. It looked like he may have lost power or something, but we started kind of gaining on Jason, and, you know, it worked out in our favor tonight.
Yellow lights are off for the 19 ULMA late models. They'll go 20 times around. The 21s lead them off of turn number 4 as the late models get loud at Lucas Oil Speedway. Hinson to the inside, Finnewald to the high side, and trouble for the 71 in between 1 and 2 as they come to the flag stand. The caution light will come on front of Cole Hinson. Let's see if this restart here with the green flag will be any different. Trouble now for the 98 as everybody will split around Justin Wells and try to get through clean. This time it's the hammer Cole Hinson who gets out in front. Finnewald right behind him, and Ferris, they run 1, 2, 3. A big gap back to Chad Richwine, and they are flying all around Ferris, momentarily up to second, and the flash comes right back around him.
I think Larry Ferris tried to make that as interesting as possible as he went low side in turn 2, carried way too much momentum as Foxy Sumner is off the track, nearly grabbed the lead as 2 cars now spin. The 7th, the track is going to be slicked up, and that's what he likes.
Well, nobody likes hitting the infield tractor tire on the restart, but that's what happened halfway back in the pack as that tire is now a good 5 feet further in, and Finnewald pancaked behind Larry Ferris to the outside of McCoyne. Tries a similar line as Cole Hinson, but right now it is hammer time as your point leader, the defending track champion, is out in front. Larry Ferris trying to reel him in, stays about 2 car lengths behind him, and then Ferris will force his nose underneath the race leader. Sliding up toward the rear end of the 21, Ferris will stay in second with Finnewald behind him.
Larry Ferris has just been bad fast so far tonight. He's made the move around Johnny Finnewald, and you wonder what's happened to the Flash in just the last couple of weeks. Probably nothing, but the simple fact that he couldn't move through the field last week, and now he's got a track that is somewhat ideal to his liking. He's sitting back in third and not really able to make much noise.
He strung together, 5 straight wins at one point in time, a total of 6 on the season. The 2 drivers that are in front of him right now, both with 2 wins here at the Diamond of Dirt Tracks, but Finnewald so far has nothing for them with 14 laps to go. McCoyne on an island all alone in 4th, Becker behind him in 5th. Wells made things interesting on the opening lap. He currently rides in 6th. Ferris momentarily there in between 1 and 2, got a nose in front of the 21, then has to get on the binders, slows up, and that allows Johnny Finnewald to catch up to Ferris. There's something about that car and Larry Ferris, that Capital chassis, that Scott Bailey racing engine, that seems like, Shane, when he needs it, he always has a little bit more speed. Finnewald dives around the 6 of Bob Cummings now to try and keep up with Ferris. And it looks like Mr. Potter has finally decided to take the 71 to the infield as we near the midway point in this one. Still, Cole Hinson hammering his way around the track with nobody in front of him right now. Plenty of clean racetrack as it continues to turn dark and slick, especially there in 3 and 4.
You just get that feeling that before this is done, we've reached midway, Ferris is going to get around the 21. He's made a couple of big runs, unless he just uses his car up trying to get to it too fast as sparks fly off of Johnny Finnewald's car as he brushes the outside wall. And indeed, maybe that did just happen for Larry Ferris as he is now starting to drop off the pace and lose ground to the 21.
The Black Pearl leading us around, 11 laps in the books. We both scratched our head when near the mid-season point, Cole Hinson, Shane, was named the mid-season points champion, and all of a sudden he and Rob Schloop, his car owner, said, we're going to go get a new car, new chassis, New motor. Even though we're leading the points, we're having a great season with the defending track champs. We're going to change everything. And it was a head scratcher for a lot of us, but right now it's looking like the smart move.
Willie, the first race or two, whenever he made that change, was whenever we really questioned it, because he wasn't running it well then, and he was losing points in a hurry. It was just sifting through the hourglass. He was losing them week after week, and then he just got it dialed in, got a big break last week whenever Johnny Finewald lost a lot of positions and a lot of points, and now he does indeed have it dialed in. And now through lap traffic, who's going to navigate that traffic better? Right now it's Ben Henson.
Finewald not gaining any on Henson or Ferris. Now, Shane, he is chasing things up around the top of the racetrack, and that's not where we see Finewald be dominant. He keeps the nose of the car in the middle of the track, and he drives it. It's not that typical snap and slingshot down the racetrack for him, but Ferris now inching up on the back of the 21 of your race and points leader, Cole Henson now.
Yeah, last lap over in turns 3 and 4 was whenever Ferris made up the most ground, and now with Cole Campbell in front of Henson, he spins. Caution will come out. Ferris had gotten
in the running order as we restart. Single file with 4 more to go. Henson able to drop the hammer. Ferris trying not to let him get away. Ferris again hard to the bottom of the track, slides up in front of the 21. They will be side by side off of 4, and Ferris is out in front now for the first time. He was out in front momentarily before the caution came out, and look at the run that Larry Ferris gets now. 3-4 car lengths. Finewald now closing in on the 21. He slides up the racetrack, loses a ton of momentum, and falls behind the 7 of McCoy.
Todd McCoy's best finish of the year, 3rd. That's where he sits now after a bobble by Johnny Finewald, and you wonder whenever Finewald had the 21 of Henson right in front of him if he tried to do too much to get around your current point leader.
White flag lap one more time around for the Capital chassis of Larry Ferris, a 2-time winner. 2 wins, 9 top 5s. Ferris currently 5th in the points. Larry Ferris is going to win a 3rd at Lucas Oil Speedway. Cole Henson wins a 2nd straight track championship.
Yeah, I had a good run on him there on that caution. I think I would have got him that time, but we ended up getting him after the caution. So I just wanted to make sure I didn't touch him because he's a great friend of mine, and we had a good race, and I didn't want to mess his points deal up.